to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. We got a lot to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. So it's time to crush.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this incredible Sunday, I decided to give y'all more for the what is it? 21 rated publisher in the world. It's rated 21, Sony is. Well, anyway, let me stop being messy. Let's get on to these facts. Do you know the review process on how games actually get a chance to be remade or redone or brought to you again? I don't. Now, little known games sometimes get a sequel. Little known games sometimes don't. Big games sometimes get a sequel. Big games sometimes don't. Well, if you remember in 2004, there was a game called Ghostmaster. Well, it's getting a sequel. It's getting a remake just for the Series X and X. Now, I personally don't remember this game at all. Let me know if you remember this game. You'll be seeing this game most likely as I'm playing it. It goes all the way back to 2004, a little known game called Ghostmaster, the Gravenville Chronicles. Made its debut on the Xbox following its PC release a year earlier. That game had just received a new remake for the Series X and S. The new version, called Ghostmaster Resurrection, is described as bringing back the essence of the classic, now infused with stunning new graphics, a powerful new engine, and refined mechanics that will leave you screaming for more. For those who don't remember it, Ghostmaster sees you welding a variety of grim specters, howling banshees, and sly gremlins, with the goal of terrifying people in the likes of police stations and frat houses. Each level is essentially a sandbox full of puzzles and multi-branching scenarios, and your goal is to unleash and controlled chaos. The game is $24.99 for the core edition on the Xbox Store, and the game looks really good. The original version, if you see it right there, and then you see the remastered version, which looks slightly better on some things. But again, the game looks pretty decent. If you remember it, well, then hey, I hope it drops inside Game Pass so I can give it a shot. Now, the biggest question is the pricing of next gen. And I've been wanting to tell you, well, I've also been wanting to tell you that it's hashtag no PlayStation 6. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. And in saying that, as my philosophy, that I don't believe that Sony is in the business of selling you a console that is $900, right? And I would believe that the next console will come in at that price point. Also, I do believe that Xbox is in the business of selling you over $1,000 console, because I can look at the Surface line of laptops and see that as an option. Well, with the new price hike, this is brought to you by Games Radar and Anthony Miguel. PlayStation 6 and the Xbox Project Helix will start at 50% higher price than the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, predicted the analysts, following Sony's price hike, and $999 is not impossible. With the PlayStation 5 Pro about to cost $900 after all. Now, you got to think about this. I've told you this many of times, that the thought process going into the next generation is these companies have exceeded and made baselines for the new product, with the baseline being no less than $700. Well, then you're looking at the new shinier thing coming in at higher. Sony kind of pigeonholed themselves with the Pro, because based upon the spec price of the Pro, then your next console has to come in higher at a price point, because you're not going to lower the Pro down. The PlayStation 5 Pro, that is. And with the Project Helix, They can't come in lower than the PlayStation 5 Pro because that will make the tech look inferior. You have to go in the mindset of what marketing looks like. So you're looking at a price point of what the consoles are able to bring to you. This is why those consoles will be at a higher price point. So now that the Sony has raised the prices of the PlayStation 5, starting points for the next generation consoles have gotten significantly higher, analysts believe, as they see it to be prepared to be potentially drop $1,000 on the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox Project Helix based on current projections. Nobody's surprised by Sony's move as multiple economic and political factors are necessitating higher price tags. Although veteran Circana Games industry analyst Matt Piscatella tells Game Radar Plus that this is one bigger price jump than he had been anticipating. I'm explaining this to you. I've been watching this. I've never seen anything like this in the history of video games. But again, we are at a point where we're watching stuff get out of a price range for impulse buy. This now it turns into a calculated gift and how much you're willing to spend on said gift. Now, I'm not a fan of clowns, but I like horror games. So when ID at Xbox shows new and different games, I'm intrigued. Birthday Boy Bridges is kind of different. Now, I know you're saying, like, King, what the hell are you talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. The evil clown psychology, how Birthday Boy bridges generational horror. What makes this clown terrifying isn't the makeup or the manic laughter. It's the shattering trust between child and protector. Now, this is brought to you by Boris over at Xbox Wire. Now, I'm excited by the idea of mixing experience of horror and it taps into the primal fear while speaking to both seasoned horror veterans and a generation raised on recent years of viral scares and cinematic interactive nightmares of the subgenre called monster horror, the universal language of fear. While studying at the university, I've also did my best to take classes on the psychology in that department. And the old school psychiatrists like Freud and one of his students, William Reich, specifically influenced my thinking about the human psyche. I've always felt it natural for me to develop games with psychological themes. Birthday Boy's central revelation that the protagonist's childhood tormentor was his own father in a clown disguise strikes fear that transcends generations. This is absolutely diabolical, horrifying, terrifying, and absolutely sinister. But again, I did Xbox. I appreciate you for bringing this to light. On Fight Night Fridays, we play tons of fighting games, but one fighting game seems to stick around more so than others. Fatal Fury City of Wolves happens to be one of this generation's top fighting games. From its inception, from its tight rollback netcode to its incredible online structure in gaming and meetups, with its fantastic graphics and combo system, I think Fatal Fury City of Wolves has brought the franchise back to prominence. Now we have Blue Mary. If you don't know Blue Mary, she's a Commando Sambo, and she's available right now. That's her style that she uses, Commando Sambo, and she is one of the latest characters. If you got a chance to see Cray using this character to defeat us, well, then you know how deadly she can be. With her moves, kind of like a chopping technique with her heel. You saw her right there hit Big Boss. And right now, she has a strong slide-in kick that she can slide straight into you and start your combos. Another move is a slicer up kick that she gives like Cammy. She looks really good. She's a great counter game fighter too. She has a real counter that turns into a back slam body breaker. Character is fantastic with this next real move that she slides up with a quick step to cut distance to get into your section. Listen, if you like fighting games, you know how we do on Fight Night Fridays. This is another game to look out for. I do appreciate you guys even showing up. And remember, you can participate with us. Even if you're not great at fighting games, we're just there to have a good time. If you're like myself, you didn't like that the This is an Xbox campaign. And it kind of, listen, I'm a console warrior, so me out there fighting and having fun on Twitter, this kind of hurt the stock, be real with you. And I guess it hurt the stock in the brand of Xbox because it kind of pushed people away from Xbox. And it told them that they didn't need a console. Well, Oscar Shermer, the new CEO over at Xbox, kind of and feels the same way. This is brought to you by Fraser Gilbert over at Pure Xbox. Microsoft issues a statement on why This is an Xbox campaign has been retired. Microsoft spokesman confirmed it has been nixed by the new Xbox boss. Asha retired This is an Xbox because it didn't feel like Xbox, a Microsoft spokesman explained. She is personally leading the reset on how we show up as a brand. And I think that goes a long way. If you want to read this, I think you should go over there and read it. It's probably a 10-second read, actually a 20-second read. You can actually go there. I want you to give them the traffic. The reason why I bring these articles to you is so you can actually do the legwork, give them the traffic. And trust me, because it's going to be a time where it's just going to be AI stuff. And I want Fraser to have a long line in this business. With the rise of the PlayStation prices, I thought that this only affected North America and the UK. Well, apparently it's a worldwide price hike. I misspoke in my last video, and I'm taking full accountability for not knowing and understanding the gravity of what's happening. It's a tragedy to the whole world. I thought Japan was immune from these price hikes and these raises. Well, apparently that's not the case. This is brought to you by The Verge by Emma Roth. Sony is raising PlayStation 5 prices by $100 in April. The PlayStation 5 Pro will be $900 as a console as of April 2nd. Sony is raising the price of the PlayStation 5 consoles globally starting April 2nd. In its announcement on Friday, Sony says that the standard PlayStation 5 will cost $650, up from $550. Meanwhile, the digital edition now costs $600 instead of $500, and the PlayStation 5 Pro will cost $900 instead of $750. Alongside the changes, Sony is increasing the prices of the PlayStation Portal as well, going from $200 to $250. I don't know what's inside the PlayStation Portal to warrant a price change and a price restructuring, but I honestly misread the room. And I'm here to apologize. Sony is screwing everyone over, not just us over here. If you happen to be on Steam and you like PlayStation games and you heard the rumor about Sony moving back and taking their games away from Steam and not bringing stuff over to Steam, well, I got news for you. Not all hope is lost. Right now, Steam is fighting back Sony because they're telling Sony, F you. This is brought to you by the comic book with Tyler Frazier. PlayStation games on Steam are now $1.69 for a limited time. I appreciate you, Steam, and I thank you for showing the true worth of Sony games. PlayStation games on Steam are now being sold for $1.69 right now for a limited time. The sale doesn't come directly from Steam itself, but Viva Fanatical, which in turn has Steam code for PlayStation games for a special price point. This price point is a result of a 92% discount. That said, a substantial discount is only live until April 1st, and only Viva Fanatical. Account with the latter costs nothing, but those interested will need to register to claim the deals. One of the two deals in question is Heavy Rain 2010's best game, released by the French developer Quantum Dreams for the PlayStation and Sony PlayStation 3 only. And the 2019, 9 years later game on PC, that's where they got the deal. And the next is Beyond Two Souls, which was released 13 years later by the same pair of Quantum Dreams. And that game is also $1 and some change. If you remember these games, I suggest you go over there and get them for the $1.69. Can't beat that with a baseball bat. Now, with all the wonderful work that we've been doing in the industry and rounding out this Sunday, I wanted to give you something that you can just look forward to. But listen, on a serious note, I thought Sony was just raising the prices here and not raising the prices globally. Globally, right now, we're looking at a price raise or price hike in the console. It signifies something worse going on over at Sony. If Xbox was getting out of the hardware business with raising console prices and Sony's matching them dollar for dollar, well, what does that truly mean? With their launcher coming sometime in September, what does it really mean for Sony? Are they exiting the hardware business, focusing on their digital future? Is their exit strategy being the PlayStation 5 Pro, allowing updates to the PSSR in the form of PSSR 3, bringing you frame generation, and the handheld that they're working on? With the PlayStation 5 Pro being $900 and them releasing a handheld at $6 or $7 that is dockable and versatile, is Sony showing you their hand with their launcher, getting as much people on the PC front as possible. With Xbox bringing Project Helix to market, showing their versatility with Play Anywhere, Game Pass, and the consoles, how can Sony possibly match this? Well, this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. If you liked anything that you saw here, well then, please like, follow, subscribe, share it out, hit that notification bell. Remember, videos is on the weekend, but I go live during the week, baby. And Friday is a special day because that's Fight Night Friday. Halfway through the show, we switch off and we play combat video games. Anywhere from Street Fighter to 2XKO to Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. Well, I want you to do what I'm about to do, what you should be doing right now. I want you to go with Gamers Game and Winners Win. And I want you to try to play the Game Pass.
Real hustlers, they'll try everything. Work in Madison Square Garden, he'll flip burgers. That didn't work. Oh, that's a real hustler right there, a real grinder. Somebody, oh, that didn't work, I'm going to try this. Oh, that didn't work, I'm going to try this. Hey, man, and keep a sense of humor while you failing and keep on laughing and watch them breaks come and watch God just bless you. Bam!